Live on DAZN Worldwide, April 26th, Eubank Jr versus Benn. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
This is Joe Pugh for IFLTV.
Really, don't you? This is like, I love this guy really.
Oh yeah, what's going on with victim mentality?
Well, I've just Johnny's because you always moan.
I don't
You
moan.
always moan.
I love
You
that
moan
sport.
about. No, the thing is with you.
He's the only one that can take my shit.
No. I don't take your shit, but I'm not always going to keep it real, yeah. And I'm going to tell you. I watch your comments sometimes, and I'm just like, Johnny, like, I think that there were times where you were mistreated as a fighter.
I was never mistreated as a fighter.
I disagree. And I
What?
think listen, I've read your comments in the past. You speak negatively about promoters, this and that and this and that.
Yeah,
the bottom line is, you know the game, you know the business. When a fight falls through, I'm not saying that fighters shouldn't be compensated, but our immediate job, but the compensation comes. You have shows, you don't understand sometimes how the business works. We have shows that are 3-4 months planned in advance, right? They're all full. You know that. Every roster has the fights planned out. All of a sudden, a fighter falls off a card, right? Like in that situation. All these cards are full. What we do then is we add those fights to upcoming cards.
Yeah.
So you, right? You didn't fight this week. 2 weeks' time, I've got you on. That card's full.
Did you ever think about compensating?
No, because it's not something that I'm not saying it shouldn't, like, I don't think it's
That's
a bad
all I'm
thing.
saying.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, it's just like, you got to understand the business. And the business says, I'm adding these fights to those cards. Those cards are full. The budgets for those cards are full.
Yeah.
So therefore, all of a sudden, your fight's costing me 100 grand, right? I've got you on in 2 weeks. On a show where we've already spent the money.
Yeah.
We're adding 100 grand to that. Fuck me. That's another 100 grand on that show. Your fight, you're out in 3 weeks. Your fight's $250,000. That card is full.
Yeah.
Fuck it. We'll add you on there as well. That's cost us another $250,000. The fight falling through cost me £1 million. You get to a point where it's like, you know, the damage of that fight cost the promotional company. But people don't care about the promotional company. Cost me probably 1.3, 1.4 million.
I understand promoters lose money. Nobody gives a shit when
it's not that, but
promoters lose money. But my point was, when Chris did what he did, it went under the radar.
No, but listen. Chris, you think at the time...
Why do you think Chris done it?
This was 2.5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Do you think at the time Chris gave a fuck about the fighters on that undercard?
No,
Johnny, you know the game.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is...
I can't criticise it because he
did it. Oh, right.
But you know why he did it.
Yeah.
It wasn't that all of a sudden one morning he woke up 3 years later and went, do you know what? This is just on my mind. I feel terrible. No, it was like, this is funny. Like, what I'll do is I'll spend $50,000. I'm making 8 mil. And what it'll do is it'll just stick it on the others. No problem. It's good. All build up. But what I'm saying is sometimes people don't understand the business at all. When you have to put a fighter on another show a week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, that till is closed, right? Already on that show, maybe you're breaking even, maybe you're making a few quid, maybe you're losing a couple of 100 grand. Now you've got another 100 grand, 200 grand. The purses for that card were probably 400 or 500 grand. We've had to add that 500 grand to upcoming shows that were already full. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not just as easy as, do you know what I'd rather done? I'd have rather given everyone 3.5 grand and said, come back next year.
Could have worked. But anyway,
Not really. Because from a business point, what would you prefer? You're a fighter, right? How about this? You were supposed to fight on that undercard, right? The fight falls through. You got the understandably. Fuck. What am I going to do? I've just trained for 8 weeks, blah, blah. Listen, mate, you got my word. I'll get you out ASAP. Stay on it. Stay on weight. Matt knows how we work, right? Get ready. We're working non-stop. Right, him on there, him on in a week, him on 3 weeks, her on in right.
I don't doubt you don't do it. I don't doubt it.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, or the other option, which is what most promoters would do, is, listen, unfortunately we're full at the moment for our cards, so have a little holiday and come back in, we'll get you out in 3-4 months. That's what most people do. I would you know how cheaper it would be to spend $50,000 and give everyone 3.5 grand and say, come back in 3 or 4 months. No, I got them out in 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because I wouldn't allow the fighter to wait that long. But that never gets acknowledged, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and for a tiny amount of money, I'm just telling you, trust me when I say the better option for the fighter is to get out in 1 week or 2 weeks than to wait 3 or 4 months and take 3.5 grand in costs and go, oh, thank you very much for paying.
You've got to remember, those comments were not just directed at Eddie.
Oh, I appreciate
They were
that.
directed at all the promoters because, and I said afterwards, at the end of one of them, I said, Matchroom do a lot for charities. There are a lot that they don't talk about. They weren't directed. I said, you asked the promoters, why are they not doing this? Get them to answer the question. So now you've got an explanation.
Like, next time, I'll tell you what, next time, we'll give a fighter an option. Your fight's fallen through. What we'll do is we'll get you out in 4 months and we'll give you your camp expenses of a couple of grand, or we'll put you on in 1 or 2 weeks.
Eddie, I'm being told you've got to go. Eddie, are you going to take the $1,900,000 bet, last one?
No, because the British Boxing Board of Control wrote to us and said anyone who bets, any licence holder that bets, will have the licence removed. It's all fun and games. You can't see through it. But it don't really matter because I couldn't give a fuck about 900 grand. All I want is the knockout victory on Saturday night. And let me tell you, it's coming, baby. Do you want your mic?
See you tomorrow, mate. Cheers, Eddie.